Imagine a single human life, burning with the intensity of a star. So bright it changes the course of history. This was Alexander the Great, king at 20, dead at 32, yet his empire stretched from Greece to India. His life was a comet streaking across the ancient world, altering everything it touched. But Alexander's story is more than conquest. It's about the power of an idea and the collision of cultures. What drives such ambition? Is it power, glory, or a relentless curiosity to see what lies beyond the horizon? He was both a product and a force of his time, reshaping the world into something new. His influence is written in the names of cities from Egypt to Afghanistan, etched into the DNA of Western civilization. To understand Alexander is to see how one person can bend the arc of history. He didn't just conquer lands, he conquered the imagination of the world. So, let's journey back to the 4th century BCE, tracing the meteoric rise of a student, a general, a king, and a legend. In doing so, we might learn something about the nature of greatness itself. What does it mean to change the world, and what is the ultimate price of such ambition? Alexander's story begins in the court of Macedon, born to two powerful parents. His father, King Philip II, was a ruthless strategist who transformed Macedon into a Greek superpower. Alexander inherited his father's ambition and military genius, learning by watching and preparing. His mother, Olympias, was mystical and claimed Alexander's true father was Zeus, instilling in him a sense of divine destiny. This blend of earthly ambition and divine purpose forged a unique personality. To shape his mind, Philip hired Aristotle as Alexander's tutor. Aristotle taught him rhetoric, politics, science, and a method of inquiry, igniting Alexander's intellectual fire. The Iliad became his constant companion, fueling his heroic ideals. Aristotle's lessons gave Alexander a framework for understanding the world, not just conquering it. He developed a curiosity for other cultures, geography, and the natural world. This upbringing, a warrior father, mystical mother, and philosopher teacher, created the young king who would change history. Alexander was ready to step onto the world stage. In 336 BCE, King Philip was assassinated. At 20, Alexander seized the throne and crushed all opposition. With Greece united, he set his sights east, the Persian Empire, the superpower of its day. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed into Asia with 40,000 men, facing overwhelming odds. At the Granicus River, he led a daring cavalry charge, shattering the Persian line, a stunning victory. Next came the Battle of Issus. Darius III, the Persian king, personally led a massive army to stop him. Alexander adapted to the terrain, broke through the Persian flank, and sent Darius fleeing. He captured the royal family, treating them with respect, a blend of ruthlessness and magnanimity. The final showdown was at Gaugamela. Darius assembled the full might of Persia. Alexander used unorthodox tactics, baiting the Persians and then charging straight for Darius. Once again, Darius fled. The Persian Empire was broken. Alexander's victories were masterpieces of tactics and audacity. The road to the heart of the Persian Empire was now wide open. In just a few years, Alexander had toppled the world's greatest empire. His legend was growing with every step. The world was watching a new kind of conqueror. The unstoppable tide of Alexander's ambition was just beginning. After Gaugamela, Alexander entered Babylon as a liberator, honoring local customs and gods. In Susa, he seized immense wealth, fueling his campaigns and transforming from Macedonian king to ruler of Asia. At Persepolis, he allowed his troops to loot and then burn the palace, a symbolic end to the Persian dynasty. Was it revenge or a calculated statement? The flames marked the end of an era. Alexander's bond with his horse, Bucephalus, revealed his unique ability to tame the wild and command loyalty. Bucephalus carried him through every major battle, a living symbol of his leadership. Alexander also showed magnanimity. After Darius was betrayed and killed, Alexander honored him with a royal funeral and punished his murderer. This was smart politics, positioning himself as rightful heir to the Persian throne. His leadership blended brutality with grace, forging a new kind of empire. Alexander was not just a conqueror, he was a master of symbolism and strategy. The ancient world was being remade in his image. With Persia conquered, most would have stopped, but Alexander's curiosity drove him onward. In Egypt, he was welcomed as a pharaoh and founded Alexandria, a city destined to become a beacon of learning. He pushed into Central Asia, facing brutal resistance and adopting Persian customs to unite his empire. He encouraged his men to marry local women and married Roxana, a Bactrian princess himself. This policy of cultural fusion angered his Macedonian veterans, but Alexander saw it as essential for unity. In 327 BCE, he crossed the Hindu Kush into India, determined to reach the world's edge. At the Hydaspes River, he faced King Porus and war elephants, his toughest battle yet. Alexander's tactics prevailed, and he made Porus an ally, impressed by his courage. But at the Hyphasis River, his exhausted army refused to go further. For the first time, Alexander's will was checked by his men. Reluctantly, he turned back. The edge of the world would remain a mystery. His ambition had reached its limit, but his legend had not. The journey home would test him in new ways. The world he had conquered was forever changed. The return was brutal. Alexander led his men through the Gedrosian desert. Thousands perished. Back in his empire, he found corruption and acted ruthlessly to restore order. At Susa, he staged a mass wedding between his officers and Persian noblewomen, a final gesture of unity. But Alexander was changed. Years of war, wounds, and grief had taken their toll. He mourned the death of his closest friend, Hephaestion, with overwhelming sorrow. Still, his ambition burned. He planned new campaigns, but his body was failing. In June 323 BCE in Babylon, Alexander fell ill after heavy drinking. After 12 days of fever, he died at 32. Was it disease or poison? The truth remains a mystery. On his deathbed, he reportedly whispered, "To the strongest," leaving his empire to chaos. His generals, the Diadochi, fought for control, tearing the empire apart. His wife and son were murdered. His dream of unity died with him. The age of Alexander was over, but a new era was about to begin. Alexander's empire shattered, but his true legacy was just beginning. His conquests spread Greek language, culture, and ideas from the Mediterranean to India. This was the dawn of the Hellenistic age, a new, interconnected world. Cities like Alexandria became centers of learning, where Greek, Egyptian, and Persian ideas mingled. Advances in science, mathematics, and philosophy flourished. Euclid, Eratosthenes, and others changed the world. Greek culture was transformed by Eastern influences, and new religious ideas flowed back to the West. The old Greek city-state gave way to vast, multi-ethnic kingdoms. Alexander's vision of cultural fusion became reality, though not as he imagined. The Hellenistic world laid the foundation for Rome, which inherited and expanded this legacy. Alexander paved the way for a globalized world. His brief, brilliant life was the catalyst for a new era. The world would never be the same. So, what is the true measure of greatness? For 2,000 years, Alexander's legacy has sparked debate: visionary hero or ruthless tyrant. The truth is complex. He was both. His ambition was cosmic. He sought not just to rule, but to understand the world. He brought scientists and philosophers on his campaigns, seeking knowledge as well as victory. Yet his conquest brought destruction and death on a massive scale. His story forces us to confront the duality of human nature, our genius and our violence. Alexander's empire vanished quickly, but his cultural legacy endured for centuries. Does lasting influence justify brutal methods? That's a question only we can answer. He was a comet, burning twice as bright for half as long, forever changing civilization's path. The question is not just whether he was great, but what kind of greatness he represents.